Hey, what's going on, guys? Bomb Mentality here. Today we're going to be talking about the price action we had in the ES. We're going to go over VIX and some of the tech names. So let's just get into it. Pretty much, guys, the situation is we've been seeing a technical pullback that has been spurred on by the Ukrainian-Russia whole issue, potential warfare, mortars raining down, yada, yada, yada. You heard the whole thing. So basically what happened is we had a technical pullback, higher low. Let me zoom out a little bit. Let me zoom out on the daily here and make it a little bit cleaner for us. So what we had is a technical pullback from the all-time highs, held the low, ramped back to the upside, lower high, higher low, lower high, broke that previous low. However, we soaked the 4350, okay? We soaked the 4350. And now we pushed back up, made another lower high, and we rolled back over below 4,400, right? On a pretty significant downside day. Potential is there for us to confirm below that 4,350 tonight, assuming we see more negative news regarding that Russia-Ukrainian warfare, okay? So that is what the catalyst is right now in the markets. From a big picture perspective, if you just look at it as we sold off, bounced, and now rolling back over, as long as we're above the 42.73, that is what the bulls need to see. If we get below that, this starts to look pretty bad, and we start zooming out, looking at more macro demand levels. But for right now, the ranges to focus on is on some supply standpoint. You're watching 4,400, you're watching 4,425, or let's say 4,435, and you're watching 4,480, okay? From demand, all we have for demand is this 4,350 to 4,360 area. After that, guys, we're in the air until 4,270s, okay? Till sub 4,300. So the bulls really need to put in a stand here and hold, or we can get killed tomorrow. Absolutely demolished tomorrow. Jumping in here on the 5-minute, I go to the hourly time frame. You'll see we got wicked low on the RSI here, guys. Wicked low on the RSI, all the way down to 24 on the RSI, and we haven't seen this since the prior pullback in wicks into 43.55, both of which we soaked. This is a little bit different given the macro news, but as long as we hold that low, the bulls have a chance. Look over here at the VIX. What did the VIX do today? Okay, on the hourly. It's significant in the sense that the VIX is higher today than it was yesterday, but it's not that significant in the sense we're not ripping parabolic. I don't really sense panic in the market yet. We've seen heavy unwinds. We've seen consistent heavy selling throughout the entire day on all of beta, on all of tech, but we haven't seen any panic. Okay, there hasn't been anything like that. That's why the VIX is creeping up here today. It didn't just have a huge leap up and then a huge rip up the next day, right? Or like this type of action back here. We just slowly crept up. Doesn't mean it can't happen. It definitely can. I'll move this alert up here. If we get over $30, I'm going to be awake. I'm going to start watching for those 35s, 37.50s, and 40s. Sell some premium on the call side. But until then, we're okay. The bulls have potential. Now, you could check the futures here in an hour or during this video, and we're already confirmed below 43.50. That's going to look pretty bad. It's going to be very difficult for the bulls to defend a breach of that level outside of these prior lows. Okay. One thing to note here: no one knows what's going to happen with this Ukrainian news. No one knows. If you're long right now, you're risking the gap down, and you have to be perfectly okay with that risk. If you're flat tonight, then that's good. You're in a really optimal position to position yourself into tomorrow's session, and no one knows what's going to end up happening with this. Okay, so just keep your risk in check and stay patient. I'm just going to jump through a couple different names here so you can just take a look at that intraday action. Look at just the heavy unwind on Apple. Just no significant bounce all the way into the close. Volume ramping up as people are looking for the exits here. Let's jump to Nvidia. Look at Nvidia. Huge downside confirmed post earnings. Keep in mind this was post earnings, and then they walked it down to the close despite a lot of people looking to buy in on that. AMD rolled over. It looked like it was holding up towards the close. Rolled it over. They sold that. Microsoft got sold all gosh dang day, along with Facebook. You want to talk about a name that had no bid? Facebook, absolutely no bid. Okay. Tesla. Look at Tesla, no bid. Sold all the way down below that 880 significant prior demand. Okay. A lot of these names sold down to their previous channels, and they are positioned for further downside confirmation. If the bulls, from a technical perspective, do not hold support, and if we don't see this whole Ukraine war news settle out. If we see a resolution of that, I would expect to see immediate relief in the markets. But there's no telling what's going to happen. We're approaching a weekend. It's likely that a lot of people are going to want to take some positions off. So if the bulls, if we don't hold here now, we can get killed tomorrow. Is essentially where we're at. What do I think is going to happen? Assuming there's no headline risk, which there definitely is, but assuming there isn't any at all, what it makes sense is for us to test this previous demand zone, either hold it or break, and if we hold it, we can move back up towards that, high 4,300, 4,400 supply right in here for a bounce. That would, during the overnight session, that would make sense. If we break this and don't hold it, we could wake up towards, 4320s, 4330s, no doubt about that. With the headline risk, no idea, guys. Anything can happen. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much my thoughts. You'll notice that into Friday's session, if we do get a big gap down, there's a lot of beta that should be sitting around demand. For example, if ES opens up in low 4300s, Tesla could open up 850 or below. And then there's the opportunity to scout that washout long out of the gate on a lot of these different names. Apple's another good opportunity. For example, if Apple ends up opening up, sub 166, where could this go? You can watch the 163, 164. AMD, if this thing gaps down below that 110, you've got the 100 solid number coming up. We got down below that, flush out. You can look for some scoops on that. Nvidia, if we end up getting that gap down, 230 is very interesting. I like 230. I don't really trust 240 anymore, not after that close. But 230, if we got below 240 and got a quick flush out of the gate, that'd be a sick opportunity to pick up some for the long. Facebook, I'm watching this at 200. Let me just go ahead and set that alert real quick. Go ahead and just set that alert. I like Facebook 200. I'm watching that to potentially establish a swing, especially if we snap below it real quick into like 197, 198 and get and stop out some of those longs. And I can go ahead and pick up that liquidity for looking at those calls. I'm interested in that. And I think that's about it for right now. Amazon is another interesting name. So Amazon early in the day, Amazon had a lot of bullish divergence, and you can clearly see that here. It had a lot of bullish divergence the day before, okay? But towards the end of the day, as the ask wouldn't lift on the SPY and we continued to see consistent supply, Amazon ended up getting unwound and getting killed to the close. So you see we closed right on or below this previous downside channel there at the 3090 demand. If we do not see a bounce, it is entirely possible Amazon could open up at 3,000 or open up and flush at 3,000. Entirely possible. So keep that in mind. And that would be a high value wash long opportunity. Given it had a positive response from earnings and it's been seeing decent bullish divergence here over the past couple of days. So currently during the overnight session, we are seeing continued weakness here on the ES. Looks like we're about to break the intraday lows. And we'll keep an eye on it, guys. Volatility's picking up. Let's continue to stay focused and trade the action we see, guys, pretty much. If you're interested in joining the chat, there's information in the description box below. I have information for my mentorship program as well if you need a little bit more one-on-one time and I'm coaching you towards success. And continue to stay focused, developing that bot mentality, which is a trading mentality where you learn to eliminate your emotions so you can trade like a machine, guys. I'm out of here. Deuces.